you guys, and welcome back to another episode of my YouTube channel. This is my mini intro series where I not only take you through the rest of my prep, but also just the things that I have learned in general to become a successful vegan bodybuilder. So if you're looking for vegan tips, if you're looking for bodybuilding tips, or lifestyle tips in general, I'm your girl. Today, I'm going to take you through my top 7 tips to be successful while traveling. I'm going to Vegas for work for just a few days. All work, no play, I promise. And in order to be successful while I am on prep, I have learned a couple packing strategies that I will share with you. Tip number 1 is days before you actually pack, start to become aware of the things that you are using day to day. A lot of the times we use little things here and there that we take for granted, and we don't notice we don't have it until it's not there. So I've been on trips where I've forgotten things like my chapstick or my toothpaste or my socks. There's always that one thing that you forget and you always feel so confident. And then you get on your trip and you realize what you're missing in the moment that you're missing it. So take note on your phone or somewhere, just little things that you realize you use every day so you don't forget them. Tip number 2, figure out what you can pack and take with you versus what you can get at the grocery store. So things that you like that are a specific brand, like my lupini beans, are not always going to be accessible everywhere I travel. So I'm always going to bring my Brahmi lupini beans with me. I also bring my pre-workout, my protein powders, and if you're crunched for space, just pop a couple servings worth in a baggie and take that with you. When it comes to grocery shopping, you can do a grocery pickup or delivery, or just go to the grocery store, and typically I'm going to get all of my produce. And if you don't have access to some type of kitchen, a lot of grocery stores offer pre-cut things, so they'll have little Tupperware type boxes of chopped bell pepper, chopped zucchini, chopped cucumbers. So that's a really great option so you don't have to bring all of your meals. Speaking of bringing your meals though, I do always pre-prep my proteins. So tip number 3 is pre-make your proteins. All of my tofu is pre-cooked 5 days at a time, already weighed out into 5 individual Tupperwares. So if I'm leaving for 4 days, I just grab 4 Tupperwares worth of tofu. I'm also going to bring my seitan because I make that myself and I can't get that from the store. I'm going to bring my protein powders. You can always freeze these things in advance so they don't go bad, and that becomes little ice packs for any meals that you want to bring with you. Speaking of easy meals, tip number 4 is make easy meals. So anything that you can do to go. For me, on this trip, I'm gonna go ahead and make some overnight oats. They're just quick in little mason jars. You pop them all in the fridge, and then when you're ready to go, you throw them in your suitcase. You can also do things like rice and pre-cook those, weigh them out. You can make salads and leave the dressing out and just add the dressing later. Anything to ease your stress while you're traveling is essential. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and make my overnight oats. They're literally going to be the exact same recipe as I do my regular post-workout oats, except just in mason jars because they're super easy to travel. You can really rely on the seal so they don't spill. You just pop them in the fridge and then toss them in your bag when you're ready to go. I did mention that I am on lower carbs, so things are decreasing quite a bit. So I have 25 grams of my oats, 17 grams of my powdered peanut butter. I also, if you notice, have a new protein powder. This is the raw vegan one, peanut butter flavor, because I have a peanut obsession. As usual, my Cinnadust. I know you guys didn't get to see this last time, but this is the bigger spice bottle that my boyfriend found for me. Salt for flavor, and of course my Ripple milk. So I'm gonna go ahead, put that all together in these mason jars and pop them in the fridge, ready to go. little bit of extra in. That way we're hitting it right on the dot. So now that we have all of our dry ingredients, I do quick seal it and just give it a little bit of a shake so that all the dry ingredients are mixed up. Then what I'm going to do, in order to add the wet ingredients, I'm actually going to pour a little bit of water on the cap. If you just put liquid ingredients into your mason jar and then shake it, a lot of the times the protein powder will stick to this cap and it's just a whole mess. So I'll put a little bit of water on the cap so that when I do shake it, it doesn't stick to the top. And I will add my Ribble milk to my oats. Another important thing to note when you are making overnight oats, with your protein powder, sometimes it will stick to the bottom. So that is another great tool with the spoon, is just go ahead and open up, give it a nice little scoop until you can kind of get those dry pieces mixed in. Give it another shake. And there you have it, one down. All three of my overnight oats are all put together. I'm gonna pop them in the fridge. You might notice that this one does have a lanyard around it. My coach did give me a high day on Sunday. We noticed that after we push for about 2 weeks, my weight on the scale starts to stall. So we up my carbs, we decrease my steps or my cardio, and my weight just starts to drop off like that. So Sunday is going to be a high day. This one has banana in it, and then no Ribble milk and no powdered peanut butter. So I want to make sure they do all look the same. I want to make sure that I have the right one on the right day. So this will be Sunday's oats. Tip number 5 leads off of tip number 4, which is how do you pack these meals? I'm saying toss them in the suitcase, but not really. I'm gonna go ahead and insert a clip here, but mason jars are typically glassware and you don't want them to break. Same with salad dressings that I bring with me because I like my Skinny Girl salad dressing and my sugar-free barbecue sauce, and I don't want to panic if the grocery store I go to doesn't have any. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take kitchen tea towel type things and wrap them around the glassware, pop them in a Ziploc and seal it shut. That way none of the glass bonks against each other and breaks, and if there is any spillage, it's not gonna get all over my clothes. Tip number 6 is bring your bathroom scale and bring your food scale. Now this one is a little bit more towards a competitor rather than a lifestyle client, but if your coach requires you to step on the scale every morning, which my coach does, and that is solely just to see the trends in my weights to better understand any fluctuations that we have, but every scale is different. So bring your bathroom scale if you need to weigh yourself, because whatever is at the hotel or the Airbnb or the gym is going to be different than your scale in your home. Some are gonna say you're heavier, some are gonna say you're lighter, and there's no point in tracking a variable when you're not controlling. Leading off of bringing your bathroom scale is testing different points in your hotel, Airbnb, wherever you're staying, to make sure that you can find a spot that's consistent with your weight. A lot of the times I visit my parents' house and I love them to death, but the wood flooring upstairs is a little bit warped, so my weight is never consistent on that flooring. If I put it in their bathroom, they have tile, so the scale isn't even. And again, my weight isn't the same. So there is one spot in their house in the downstairs bathroom where I found that my weight can be consistent and I know it to be true. So make sure that you're also accounting for that. Put your foot on the scale, take it off, let it zero out, and then step on it, because sometimes it will have to recalibrate. When it comes to bringing your food scale, that just makes it easy for when you are getting things from the store so that you can stay on track. A food scale is very light, very portable. Pop it into your suitcase. My next tip is called the KISS principle. So keep it simple. We love our ingredients, we love our meals, we love throwing this big casserole dish together. I totally get it. I'm a Midwest girl at heart, and tater tot hot dish was absolutely a staple. But also a nightmare to track. Sometimes if traveling is super intimidating, just keep it simple to a couple ingredients per meal. So one of my favorite meals that I do pre or post workout is my rice cakes with protein powder and banana. Banana is super easy to weigh out and track. It's just that one ingredient. My protein powder I can throw in a shaker, or I can make that protein fluff and throw it on rice cakes, which again is a super easy thing to do in servings. If you want to do avocado or peanut butter or anything like that, simple ingredients, a couple ingredients per meal that you can choose one thing at a time. My last tip for you is prep all of your food for travel day. As many of you know, travel can be insanely inconsistent and totally all over the place. I have had days where I've spent 10 to 12 hours in an airport because flights are getting delayed, flights are getting canceled, and you have to get on a new plane. And even though you were only planning on being in the airport for 5 hours, now you're there for 12 and you have no food and you're scrambling to get a protein bar. And then you have to Tetris your macros, which I don't know about you, but for me is emotionally exhausting and extremely stressful, especially as a competitor. So what I do and what I'm doing for this trip is I am pre-making my seitan that has my bell peppers and my zucchini and my sugar-free barbecue sauce and avocado, putting that in a Tupperware, as well as my salad. Those things really don't need to be refrigerated, but I am going to keep them in the refrigerator till the last minute. That way I can eat them on the plane if that's how my meal times work out, or if anything happens, then I can just go ahead and eat it in the airport. A lot of people think that you can't bring food onto the airplane, but you absolutely can as long as it's dry. So maybe I don't bring my salad dressing, and maybe I'll get a couple of lemons from the airport, one of the airport restaurants, and kind of drizzle that on to make like a salad dressing. But you gotta do what you gotta do in cases like that. Best case scenario, nothing goes wrong and I'm able to take that meal with me and put it in the fridge, and my day is already ready food-wise to go, and I can add my salad dressing when I get my checked bag back. Luckily for me, for this trip, my work is flying me private, so I don't have to worry about a lot of these things. But again, at the end of the day, you never know what can happen, so it's always important to stay prepared in the event of any delays. It is supposed to thunder and storm in Vegas. It is possible that we get stuck on the tarmac before or after takeoff, or even in the air. So I'm gonna have my 2 meals with me in my bag ready to go just in case. Okay, so we are at Dragon's Lair Gym. I'm super excited. I just bought a one of their 30-day day passes. I'm definitely gonna get a t-shirt and get a great chest and tricep workout. I forgot my tripod, so bear with me. Let's see how this looks. I'm gonna be holding my phone a lot, but I'm just super excited. Today is also a high carb day, so high carb. I got 145 grams of carbs today, whereas the last 6 days I've had 85 grams of carbs. So today is going to be a great day. It is 6:25 and let's go get a lift in. One left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to
Fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot, can't deny it. There's some days I feel idiotic, just a product of a system where you're lucky just to make a dollar. That ain't gonna stop me cause my grind's contagious. I'll do what it takes to turn passion to paychecks. And if I go down, I'ma do it on my terms. And every single problem brings a lesson that I learned. The darkest nights, when things seem so broken, it's hard to shine, but I still try. I'll be the last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight. That's right. Baby, I was born to fight. Let's go. Baby, I was born to fight. It's hard to be yourself down a lonely road. I try to find my way but don't know where to go. It's hard to see your friends, tell them adios. When you known them all for like forever, now you're just a ghost. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it, yeah, I feel alone. Been single for a decade, doing me is getting old. I don't pick up when the phone rings, too busy recording. Industry ignores me, but I keep on going. Cause I know you got my back, I got you too. No matter what the situation, we gon' make it through. I'm a fighter, not a quitter. They can say that I'm a sinner cause they love to hate the winner, but I'm never gonna give up. The last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight. That's right. Baby, I was born to fight. Born to fight. The last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot.
Well, I think that is everything. I hope that you so enjoyed not only my tips and tricks, but a little bit of bonus for when I went to the Dragon's Lair in Vegas. I've honestly wanted to go to that gym for like over a year now, and it was such a cool experience. The artwork alone is awesome. The equipment was great. The posing room was super cool. I've actually never gotten the chance to use a posing room, let alone have a mirror like angled so that I can see my back and everything from the back, which was super, super helpful because I was able to see that glute hamstring tie-in and kind of tweak the way that I stand to make them pop out more. So I'm definitely going to be implementing that in this room. Currently, I'm in my posing/video room that my boyfriend made for me. But I should absolutely, when it's done, show you all everything he's done for me. But back on topic, I hope that you enjoyed all of the tips and tricks that I have kind of laid out for you. Please let me know if they work out, if you try them, if you find other things that work better for you, and share them with me so that we can learn from each other. But that concludes today's episode. Don't forget, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'll see you next week.